Hi, boys and girls. Mrs. Feustel here. Thank you so much for joining me today. Our lesson is about the challenges of reading nonfiction. The learning target, I will learn why nonfiction can be challenging to read, and I will also learn some strategies to help me overcome these challenges. You will need Post-it notes or your reader's notebook and a pencil for this lesson. Sometimes nonfiction can be easy to read. Other times you may read nonfiction books that are more challenging. And more challenging books can be great for you to learn from and even push yourself to that next level. So when you get to this point, when you get to a challenging book, a nonfiction book, what are some things that you can do? We're going to be practicing that in the next couple of slides. I want you to read, or in this case, you're going to listen to this excerpt or article called Why Swim? And I want you to be thinking about, why is it more challenging? Could other nonfiction be challenging in this way? A sport. Reasons why. There are many different kinds of swimming strokes. Some of the most common strokes are the front crawl, back crawl, butterfly, breaststroke, and the side stroke. Some of these strokes require a flutter kick, that is, short back and forth kicks with feet and toes outstretched. Other strokes, like the side stroke, butterfly, and breaststroke, involve more specific kicks. Some swim strokes are made for fast, short distance swimmers. Others are designed for long distance swimming. Why swim? According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, in the United States in 2009, 36% of children ages 7 to 17 and 15% of adults swam at least 6 times per year. In addition, swimming is considered the 4th most popular form of recreation in the United States. 1 hour of swimming can burn off up to 650 calories more than you would burn off through other kinds of exercise, such as walking or biking. The U.S. Census Bureau states that swimming is one of the most popular activities among children and teens ages 7 to 17, but an estimated 65,000 people in the United States still do not know how to swim. Swimming does your body good. While swimming can be dangerous, such as swimming in extremely cold water or swimming right after lunch, there are a lot of benefits too. However, skateboarding can also be a dangerous sport. You could lose your balance and fall, or worse, crash into cars. Even experienced skateboarders have to be careful when attempting newer and more complicated tricks. Therefore, it is important for all riders to wear a helmet. While there are several benefits to swimming, you might be wondering why it is dangerous to swim right after lunch. It's dangerous because your body is still digesting food and you might experience muscle cramps, which are involuntary and often painful muscle contractions. This will tire you out quickly, which isn't safe when in the water. On the other hand, swimming can also strengthen your heart, lungs, and other muscles, and can even reduce stress. One-armed swimmers. Most swimmers don't have to rely on a single stroke. They can use a variety of strokes in ways that work for them, depending on how and where they swim. The side stroke is a relaxing stroke and can be used when swimming for long intervals, as it requires little energy. Lifeguards use a number of strokes well in order to save lives, including the front crawl, which gets them to a drowning person quickly. They might even need to swim with one arm against strong ocean currents, using the other arm to hold and carry the person they are saving. The many strokes that swimmers use each have a purpose. All right, so you just finished listening to this article. Take some time, think about this piece and why it might be challenging for a reader. Now is the time for you to pause this video and write down your thoughts in your reader's notebook. What makes some nonfiction hard to read? And use the article you just listened to help you come up with those thoughts. Thank you so much for taking time to do that, boys and girls. I'm going to share some of my thoughts as I was reading this article, and I wonder if we are on the same page as far as what might make nonfiction confusing at times. So the one thing that I noticed is that the headings to me seemed very confusing. So the first one was reasons why, and it didn't even really tell. That to me was a little bit vague. And the paragraph didn't even seem to explain reasons why maybe swimming is good for you or fun. It talked about more or less the different types of swimming strokes. The second part, or the second paragraph, was really confusing to me as well, because there were so many facts in that paragraph and numbers. I really had to slow down and reread and think about what it was that they were presenting. And again, the heading seemed a little misleading or not real clear. I think I would have made it different. And then finally, for me, another thing that really stood out was in the third paragraph right here, where it switches gears. It seems like we're talking about swim, and then all of a sudden skateboarding and how it can be a dangerous sport. Now, I like skateboarding, but that has nothing to do with the swimming part, and it took a while for it to get back on track again. Right after, therefore, it is important for all riders to wear a helmet. And then, boom, it starts talking about, while there are several benefits to swimming, you might be wondering why it is dangerous to swim right after lunch. So this article for me was confusing and a challenge because the heading seemed a little bit misleading or vague, and there was lots of information, lots of facts presented, and it did get off track. So, what makes nonfiction challenging at times? We talked about it. Confusing headings. Too many facts. It doesn't introduce the topic well, and it gets off topic. So how can we help ourselves, or how can we overcome these challenges? What can we do? Well, rereading parts that you do not understand helps tremendously, and I had to do that with this article a couple of times. I also had to really sit up straight, look at the article, and focus on what it is trying to teach me. I read or approach nonfiction a lot differently than I do fiction. So if I'm reading an article that has a lot of facts and information in it, I tend to sit up straight, and I have a paper and a pencil, and I take notes. And sometimes too, it helps me if I talk about what I have read with somebody, or I write down and share with someone what I've just read. So these are ways in which you can overcome the challenges nonfiction sometimes presents to you. You reread the parts that you do not understand, you focus on what each part is teaching you, and you talk about or write about what you read. So even though nonfiction is a lot of fun to read, it can be challenging at times. So today, boys and girls, I want you to practice this. I want you to choose a nonfiction book to read. I want you to be aware of what might make it challenging to read. I want you to practice working through those challenges by rereading, focusing on what is being taught, or even just take some time to write about what you have learned or talk about it with an adult or a friend. Thank you so much. Have fun reading, and I appreciate your time, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.